Hey guys, welcome back to J&J Beekeeping. In this video we're going to be doing our first extraction and we want to share the experience with you. Recently we have bought this extractor and we bought an uncapping fork. So we have the required equipment to extract honey. So the process of extracting honey, obviously you have to take the frames out of the hive, which we did earlier today, and you need to uncap it. You need to open the extractor and put the frames in the extractor. And you're able to get an electric extractor, but we opted for a manual one because it costs less. And you just spin it for a while, and then eventually all the honey gets spun out. And this is more efficient because you don't have to ruin the infrastructure of the frame, so you can just put the frame right back in and they can use it immediately again. So once we finish spinning the honey, we have this bucket which you can put underneath the honey gate, and you untighten this here and open the honey gate into the sieve. And it goes into the sieve and through this cloth, so it filters twice, and that gets as much wax as we can out of it. And then we leave that to settle in there for a few days, so then any extra wax or air comes over the top. And is that it?
That's it, Jake, well done. So we're basically, our process is we're going to uncap the frames, and the uncapping wax will go into this. We'll put that into the sieve and see if we can filter any honey out of that. And the cappings then are going to go in. We've got a bucket that we're over the season we're building up with saving our wax. So we're going to do something with the wax one day when we get a good amount in there. So the first process, uncap. Then we're going to put the frames into the extractor, and we're going to spin out the honey. We'll show you that once we start, and then we're going to filter it through a normal kitchen sieve, and then we've got a bit of muslin cloth. We're going to filter that into the settling tank, and over a day or two, a couple of days, all the air will rise to the top, and the wax, any wax, residual wax, will rise to the top, and then we'll have some nice honey. So we'll start working out what the best way to uncap is. We've got a serrated knife and an uncapping tool. So we'll work out what the best way for us is, and then we'll turn the video back on. Okay, thanks. So this is plan A. Jake is just slowly using the uncapping tool. So this is just wax, there's no honey on that really, so we'll probably just put that straight in our bucket. And he's just slowly, and it's quite a quick process, so this is probably going to be our preferred way to do it. And you can see that the structure of all the comb is still pretty good, so the bees won't have to draw out the comb. This is the same frame and the same side. Jake's just finishing. It was only a few minutes and there's hardly any honey, it's just caps, So I think Jake's done a brilliant job here. I think this is probably what we'll do. We won't use the knife, we'll probably just do this for the rest of the frames. And then we'll put them in the extractor, and we'll just put the wax straight in the bucket.
Should I start the other side? Or?
Yeah, start the other side, Jake. It's quite satisfying, is it?
Yeah, it is satisfying.
It looks great. It'll be tempting after we finish to just leave the extractor in the garden for the bees to clean. I've seen somebody doing that last summer. But we're going to clean it ourselves. We're not going to do that just for potential for any disease. Any disease spread. There's a wild colony in a roof less than 100 metres away, and also there's actually been an outbreak of American foul brood in Dublin, and there's some hives having to be destroyed. So I think we'll just keep things tight, and although it would be nice to watch the bees cleaning the extractor, we're going to do that ourselves. So here goes in another one. So how many left, Jake? 2. That's 4 in and 2 to go, yeah?
Yeah, there's 2 to go now. So probably be pretty quick, but some of these frames have a bit of uneven comb, so it'll probably be a bit longer for some of them.
Well, you're doing great, Jake. We're nearly there. Keep going. Okay, so we have our frames loaded up. So Jake, do you want to close the lid and start spinning?
Do I just start spinning slowly, or do I
Slowly, I think, and just build it up gradually. That's it. And then we should be able to see the honey. Okay, yeah, you can go quicker than that. It's kind of impossible to see inside, but I think we'll do this for 5 minutes and then stop and see what the story is. So Jake's been spinning for about 5 minutes, and it's all the honey gets spun onto these sides and then it falls down to the bottom, and you can see loads of lovely honey in the bottom here. It's just starting to leak out of the valve at the bottom. So Jake, maybe do you want to open the valve at the bottom and start letting it filter through?
the right way? Oh, no, let me do it.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to, that's it. There we go. There we
Oh.
go. Look at that. Oh, okay. So we're just going to let that looks really, really nice and clear, doesn't it? So we're going to let that filter through. There's a sieve and just muslin cloth.
And what's it in the
And
cloth?
we might have to close the valve in a minute, just so in case the level doesn't rises too high. But if you put the lid down and start spinning again, Jake, and I'll manage the bottom bit, because we reckon we're about halfway there. So this is really good. And then we'll take the muslin off, put the lid on the settling tank, settling bucket, and leave it for probably at least 24 hours, and that allows all the air bubbles to come up to the surface, but also all the wax. There'll be a film of wax over the top, which we can just then scoop off before we jar the honey.
So we've been spinning this for about 10 minutes now. We think that everything's out of the frames. Oh, well, that's not good. We think we've gotten everything out of the frames. So obviously the comb is basically clear. There's almost nothing in it. There's a bit of honey at the bottom, but
So the comb's in perfect nick, Jake, isn't it? So the
on
bees...
this side it's literally empty. So
Right.
and the comb is in great condition. The comb's perfect.
So the bees won't have to draw that out. We'll put that back in the super, and they'll love it. They'll clean it out a bit, and then
they'll have a good time cleaning it out. And there's, as you can see at the bottom, it's still flowing out at the bottom pretty well. And there's a good amount in this.
Is there much in the extractor still? Let's have a look.
There's a lot in the extractor still.
There's still quite a lot, so this is going to keep flowing for our next
There's
hour or so, I guess. I reckon.
There's a good amount on the sides, so.
So well done, Jay. That was good fun, wasn't it? So we're going to let this.
It's a good bit of exercise.
It was about 10 minutes of spinning. So we're going to put these frames back in the super. We'll put that back on the hive tomorrow morning. We'll give this extractor a really, really good clean, and it's the 22nd of July today, so the end of August then we'll probably take all of the 5 supers off and extract the rest of the honey. But in the meantime, it's looking good. And it tastes great, doesn't it, Jake?
Yeah, it tastes really nice.
Alright, see you next time everyone. Bye.